Marie Curie, extraordinary female scientist with 2 Nobel Prizes in physics and chemistry. In a scientific world predominantly dominated by men in the late 18th and early 19th centuries, the talented scientist Marie Curie shone brighter than all, breaking through every barrier of prejudice to become a radiant symbol of intellect and determination. She was the first woman to be honored with 2 Nobel Prizes in 2 different fields, physics and chemistry. Her career left an indelible mark on human history. However, what made Marie Curie truly great was not only her illustrious scientific achievements, but also her noble character and unconditional dedication. Between fame and personal gain, she chose science, willingly sharing her invaluable discoveries instead of keeping them for herself. It was this devotion and genuine passion that made Marie Curie a legend in the scientific world and an inspiring symbol for generations to come. Therefore, let us explore the life and career of the eminent scientist Marie Curie. In a male-dominated scientific world, how did she strive and shine? What are the legacies Marie Curie left for future generations, especially her monumental discoveries in the field of medicine? Listeners will find the answers in the following content, coming up next. Humble beginnings and the journey to knowledge. Marie Curie, born Maria Sklodowska in 1867 in Warsaw, Poland, came from a family that valued education. Her father, Władysław Sklodowski, was a devoted teacher who loved his family dearly and wholeheartedly supported his children in their pursuit of knowledge. From a young age, Marie displayed exceptional talent. She excelled in many subjects, from mathematics, history, and literature to foreign languages such as French and German. However, behind her outstanding achievements, Marie's childhood was soon overshadowed by tragedy. At the age of 10, she witnessed the death of her sister Zofia due to an infectious disease. Not long after, her mother passed away from tuberculosis. These consecutive tragedies did not break Marie. Instead, they forged her resolve and fueled her determination to pursue education as a means to change her destiny. In 1883, she completed her secondary education, graduating as the top student in her class at the age of 15. Despite growing up in a family that prized intellect, Marie and her sister faced countless obstacles, from financial burdens to society's harsh prejudices. Poland, at that time under the control of the Russian Empire, enforced policies that barred women from attending university. The prevailing belief was that women should only take on the roles of wives, mothers, and homemakers, while fields like mathematics, physics, and chemistry were considered the exclusive domain of men. Women who dared to pursue knowledge were often seen as eccentric, facing scorn and rarely receiving recognition, no matter how brilliant they were. Studying under difficult conditions and unable to attend formal universities, after graduating from high school, Marie joined the Flying University, a clandestine educational organization for women that taught subjects banned by the authorities. This was a rare opportunity for Polish women to access scientific and humanities fields that were unavailable to them in the formal education system. Outside of her studies, Marie worked as a private tutor. However, the income from this job was meager, and her family lacked the resources to support both sisters' education. Thus, Marie and her sister Bronislawa made an agreement. Marie would stay in their hometown, teaching herself while working as a tutor to support herself and help fund Bronislawa's medical studies. Once Bronislawa was settled, she would in turn help Marie go to Paris to pursue her dream of higher education. At 19, Marie moved to a rural area to work as a tutor. Though the job was demanding and kept her busy all day, whenever she had free time, Marie chose to study. In a heartfelt letter to her cousin, quoted in the work Madame Curie by Eve Curie, her second daughter, the young Marie wrote, "Here, people do nothing but think of amusement, and because I don't want to join in, I've become the subject of ridicule in the area. I live here like everyone else in this situation, accustomed to life outside of teaching, but I also study more, though it's not easy. Whenever visitors come, my entire daily schedule is thrown into disarray. I read many things at once, because focusing on one subject for too long can tire my mind. When I feel I can no longer continue reading, I turn to algebra and trigonometry problems to refocus my thoughts. Despite the hardships and exhaustion, Marie persistently honed her knowledge, determined to turn her aspirations into reality. Challenges in Paris. In 1891, after Bronislawa had settled down and started a family, Marie received word that arrangements could be made for her to go to Paris. At the age of 24, she left Poland and enrolled at the Sorbonne, one of Europe's most prestigious universities at the time. Initially, Marie lived with Bronislawa's family. However, their home was nearly an hour away from the university by horse-drawn carriage, costing her significant time and money. Additionally, living with her sister's family meant she often had to engage with the Polish expatriate community in Paris. While this was a tight-knit community, her father had warned that being too closely involved could jeopardize her career and even endanger their family back home. Recognizing the potential risks, after just a few months, Marie decided to move to the Latin Quarter, a hub for students and artists, which was also closer to the university. Life as an independent student was full of hardships. To save money, Marie often went hungry, surviving on just bread and tea, wearing the same worn-out clothes repeatedly, and spending most of her meager funds on books and materials. Outside of class hours, she took on evening tutoring jobs to make ends meet. Her income was barely enough, and the prolonged deprivation, combined with the intense study schedule, caused her to faint from exhaustion multiple times. The challenges were not only financial but also academic. Marie quickly realized that the knowledge and French she had taught herself back home were insufficient to keep up with her classmates. However, refusing to let difficulties deter her, she studied with unwavering perseverance. Thanks to her relentless efforts, just 2 years later, she graduated at the top of her class in physics in 1893. Not stopping there, Marie went on to earn a degree in mathematics in 1894, paving the way for her future in scientific research and establishing herself in a male-dominated scientific world. Meeting her destined love. While searching for a laboratory to facilitate her research, Marie met Marie Curie, a talented scientist, through an introduction by Polish physicist Józef Wierusz Kowalski. Through their conversations, a romance gradually blossomed. Pierre quickly fell for the woman who, though outwardly serious, possessed an immense passion. After some time, he proposed, but Marie declined, intending to return to Poland to become a teacher after completing her physics and mathematics degrees. Understanding the aspirations of the woman he loved, Pierre boldly declared he would accompany her back to Poland, even if it meant abandoning his scientific career to become a French teacher. However, an unexpected event occurred, presenting both a challenge for Marie and a pivotal turning point for them both. In the summer of 1894, after returning to Poland to seek job opportunities, she was rejected by the University of Krakow due to gender discrimination policies. Upon learning this, Pierre wrote a letter persuading her to return to Paris to continue her scientific research. In return, Marie encouraged him to complete his doctoral dissertation. Through mutual support, in March 1895, Pierre successfully defended his research on magnetism, earning his doctorate and a promotion to professor at the university. It can be said that their love was not only a bond between two kindred spirits, but also a driving force that propelled both forward in their careers. In 1895, they married in simple attire, officially becoming life partners and research collaborators. In July 1897, Marie gave birth to their first daughter, named Irene. Embarking on the journey of radioactivity research. To support his wife's research, Pierre Curie secured Marie a position as an assistant in the laboratory. There, the couple began their journey to explore the invisible rays emitted by uranium, a newly identified phenomenon by Professor Henry Becquerel. Professor Becquerel had demonstrated that uranium rays could penetrate solid matter, opaque materials, and affect photographic film. During their research, Marie noticed something peculiar. Pitchblende, a mineral ore containing uranium, exhibited far higher levels of radioactivity than pure uranium. This experiment led her to believe that, besides uranium, there were other unknown elements contributing to the intense radioactivity. However, Marie's hypothesis faced skepticism from the scientific community. Undeterred, the Curie couple embarked on a quest to find these new elements. They crushed pitchblende, dissolved it in acid, and applied standard chemical separation methods of the time to isolate the elements. After months of tireless work, they extracted a black powder 330 times more radioactive than uranium, naming it polonium after Marie's homeland, Holland. Yet the mystery did not end there. Further research revealed that the solution, even after polonium was extracted, still exhibited extremely high levels of radioactivity. This indicated the presence of another element in pitchblende, far more powerful than polonium but present in minute quantities. In 1898, the Curies published evidence of the existence of this new element, naming it radium. However, they had not yet managed to isolate a pure radium sample. Pitchblende was an expensive mineral due to its uranium content. To continue their research, Marie needed large quantities. She contacted a factory in Austria that extracted uranium from pitchblende for industrial use. The factory considered the remaining ore waste worthless, but Marie knew it was even richer in radioactivity than the original pitchblende. Thus, she was able to purchase tons of the material at a significantly lower cost. Marie began processing the ore through an extremely arduous process, crushing batches of ore weighing about 20 kilograms, dissolving, filtering, precipitating, and repeating the crystallization process countless times to obtain a tiny amount of radium. In a chaotic laboratory, the work demanded immense physical endurance, while the couple was unaware of the hidden dangers. They gradually felt fatigued and exhausted but persisted, even though their hands were often scratched and swollen from handling chemicals. Today, we know these were signs of radiation poisoning, a hazard unknown at the time. Finally, in 1902, after years of relentless effort, Marie succeeded in isolating pure radium. This groundbreaking achievement marked a monumental leap in science and laid the foundation for the grand field of radioactivity research in the future. The 1903 Nobel Prize in Physics and Injustice. In 1903, the Sorbonne awarded Marie Curie an honorary doctorate in science. That same year, the Royal Scientific Society of England sent a letter inviting the Curie couple to England to give a lecture. In Sweden, the 1903 Nobel Prize in Physics was divided into 3 parts. Half was awarded to Henry Becquerel, and the other half to the Curie couple for their work in discovering radioactivity. Initially, the Nobel Committee intended to award it only to Pierre Curie, believing the Nobel Prize was meant for men. However, thanks to Pierre's steadfast defense of his wife's contributions, Marie Curie's name was officially recognized with the award. Marie Curie became the first woman in history to win a Nobel Prize, breaking gender barriers in science. Groundbreaking discoveries, a chance to become a millionaire, but she declined. After discovering radium, Pierre Curie was particularly interested in its physiological effects. He experimented on himself by applying radium to his arm, observing that the exposed skin was damaged and took weeks to heal. This demonstrated radium's ability to destroy living tissue, opening up potential medical applications. In 1901, at St. Louis Hospital in France, Dr. Henry Alexander Danlos began experimenting with radium to treat skin lesions. As an element with immense medical potential, radium quickly became one of the world's most valuable elements, priced at $100,000 per gram, equivalent to about $1.3 million today. With their revolutionary discovery, the Curies could have lived a life of wealth if they had chosen to patent it. However, they made an extraordinary decision. They publicly shared all their research, enabling the global scientific community to continue developing it without being constrained by costs or intellectual property rights. This selfless dedication made the Curie couple figures sought after by the press and the scientific community. Dedication to the end, despite loss and suffering. The pain of losing a partner. In 1906, Pierre Curie died tragically in an accident when he was hit by a horse-drawn carriage on the streets of Paris, leaving Marie alone to raise their two young children, while their scientific work remained unfinished. To Marie, Pierre was not only a life partner, but also a rare companion who understood and shared her passion for science. His sudden departure left an irreplaceable void, plunging her into deep grief. Having lost her closest confidant, and facing the solitary continuation of their scientific journey, instead of succumbing to pain, Marie Curie chose to persevere and move forward. She was nominated for a professorship at the Sorbonne in Paris, becoming the first woman to teach at this prestigious institution, a historic milestone for European education. Crushed by the shock, I felt unable to face the future. However, I could not forget what my husband once said, that even if he were no longer here, I must continue our work. Marie Curie's fame spread far and wide, with many international universities awarding her honorary doctorates. Alongside her teaching duties, she continued tirelessly researching the chemical properties of radium. In 1911, she published a significant work on methods to measure radioactivity. This outstanding achievement earned her the Nobel Prize in Chemistry, making her the first person in history to win 2 Nobel Prizes in different fields. Thanks to her research, the Sorbonne established the first Radium Research Institute, comprising 2 laboratories, one led by Marie Curie, specializing in radioactivity research, and the other for graduate students, focusing on cancer treatment methods. In 1911, rejected by the French Academy of Sciences for being a woman. Despite reaching the pinnacle of science with 2 Nobel Prizes, Marie Curie still faced harsh discrimination. In 1911, she applied for membership in the French Academy of Sciences, a gathering of the most brilliant minds, but was rejected, not because of her abilities, but because she was a woman. The Academy's council chose a less distinguished male candidate, a decision that clearly reflected deep-seated gender bias. Yet, Marie never backed down. Despite prejudice, she continued to dedicate herself to research, proving that knowledge and talent are not limited by gender, becoming an inspiration to millions, especially women. Attacked over her personal life. Not only did she face pressure in science, but Marie Curie was also heavily criticized over her personal life. For a long time after her husband's death, she had a relationship with a scientist 5 years her junior, Paul Langevin, a former student of Pierre. Paul was a married man, but in an unhappy marriage. The ensuing scandal led to vicious attacks from the press, with the public condemning her as a homewrecker, while male colleagues in similar situations faced no such criticism. This reflected the injustice women of that era endured, not only in their careers but also in their personal lives. Amid the personal scandal, the Swedish Academy of Sciences advised Marie Curie not to attend the Nobel Prize in Chemistry ceremony to avoid controversy. However, she firmly rejected the advice, asserting that the award was given for scientific contributions, not personal matters. Ultimately, with the support of many scientists and those who respected her, Marie Curie attended the Nobel ceremony with pride. She did not let criticism deter her, remaining steadfast on her path of research and dedicating herself fully to science. Dedication until her last breath. World War I, giving her all to save lives. When World War first broke out, Marie Curie poured her heart into developing mobile X-ray machines, a type of equipment that helped diagnose injuries for soldiers right on the battlefield. Not stopping at research, she taught herself anatomy, learned to drive, repaired equipment, and operated X-ray machines. As the director of the Red Cross Association, Marie traveled across Paris to solicit support in terms of funding, supplies, and vehicles. Thanks to her dedication, thousands of soldiers' lives were saved. After the war, Marie Curie continued her research and teaching, taking on the role of laboratory head, She received numerous prestigious awards, including the Albert Richard Research Prize in 1921, the Grand Prize of the Marquess of Argent in 1923, and the Cameron Prize from the University of Edinburgh in 1931. Additionally, she was awarded numerous honorary degrees from universities worldwide. Passing away. After more than 40 years of relentless research on radioactivity without specific protective measures, Marie Curie's health was severely impacted. She dedicated herself tirelessly to science until she contracted aplastic anemia, a form of blood cancer caused by radiation exposure, which left her unable to continue her work. In 1934, she took her last breath. In her final moments, what she regretted most was not life itself, but the unfinished research she had yet to complete. Marie Curie's legacy in modern science. Marie Curie was not only a great scientist, but also laid the foundation for many modern fields. Her discoveries, particularly in radioactivity, marked a turning point in physics, chemistry, medicine, and industry. Her work helped scientists better understand atomic structure, paving the way for quantum mechanics, nuclear physics, and nuclear technology. These studies provided the groundwork for other scientists, such as Rutherford and Einstein, to develop atomic theory and nuclear energy. The application of radioactivity in medicine has saved millions of lives. Radiation therapy. Marie Curie discovered that radium could destroy cancer cells, laying the foundation for radiotherapy, a widely used cancer treatment method today. In medical advancements, she improved X-ray technology during World War I. Today, CT scans and PET scans are based on the principles of radioactivity she established. Marie Curie's life is a vivid testament to a profound truth. Great knowledge is not born from ease, but is forged through steadfast willpower and a resilient spirit. Born into a poor family in an era of extreme gender discrimination, Marie Curie quietly overcame countless hardships, battling gender bias to pursue her scientific path. As a woman in a time when the doors of knowledge were not truly open to women, the path she chose was never easy. Yet, with unwavering determination and a fierce love for science, she rose above all prejudices, hardships, and personal pain to dedicate her life to humanity's knowledge. More than half a century later, Marie Curie's legacy continues to illuminate modern science. She is not only an inspiring symbol for female scientists, but also a powerful testament. Talent should not be limited by anything.